Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central. And a good Saturday to you. It's the In Wheel Time car talk show on iHeart Radio. Coming up, custom car builder Rick Dore joins us. Conrad will have This Week in Auto History. We'll get you updated on the stories making car news this week. Howdy. Along with King Conrad DeLong, we need more Jeff Seekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Filling in for Mr. Mars, who's out today, is David Ainsley. And we always appreciate his personal appearance right here in Studio A on the Smoke and Mirrors Network on the In Wheel Time Deluxe Car Show.
I know I do. Deluxe.
Speaking of Deluxe, we are going to go now to Zoom call, and we have the pleasure of talking to Mr. Rick Dore, custom car builder and co-host of Lords of the Car Hordes. I know you've seen him on TV. Hey, Rick, it's great to see you.
You need to unmute your microphone.
You need to unmute your microphone on your Zoom. Down in the bottom left corner.
Okay,
Sorry.
There you go. No.
Morning, guys.
Good morning. Hey, it's great to see you. Great to talk to you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah.
Well, so listen, man, we have talked to some really good custom car builders on this show over the past, but I have seen some of your work, and I have to tell you, you, sir, rank right up there at the top of custom car builders.
Well, that's awful nice of you. Thank you.
So how did you get the car bug? When did it come to you back in the day? How long have you been doing this?
I've been building cars for about 35 years.
Yeah.
In the big picture, not long compared to the Barrises, the Winfields, the older crowd, my, older generation that are all fading away now. But I started building cars in the early 80s. Actually, one car, a 56 Buick. And I got the bug. I seen a Chop 50 Merc at a red light. A lot of people know the story in Phoenix. I chased it down. I didn't know what it was. The neighborhood I grew up in New York, in the city, wasn't a neighborhood where everybody had cars. In fact, the only guys who really had cool cars were the guys who made it back from Vietnam, and the next week they'd get a car on the GI loan or whatever and be out on the drag strip with their GTO or Chevelle. Other than that, we rode trains. And when I started raising my family in the 80s, I was able to afford to, step out there. And I loved cars. I got this 56 Buick. It was a mile custom. We swapped the engine and went to the West Coast cruise in 1984. And met Ed Big Daddy Roth and Barris and all the old timers, Winfield, all guys that I ended up becoming friends with later on. And then in 1992, I did my first show car that went to Oakland, the real Oakland.
The Roadster Show.
Oakland Roadster Show, before it had moved to Southern California. And it won everything in its class. And
wow.
And which one was that? That was Lavender Persuasion. It was a 57 Buick.
Wow.
Beautiful car. A lot of metal work on that car to make it as unique as it was.
Yeah, there was a lot of work. I had a lot of help. The real metal came to when I met Marcel 15 years or so ago. Most people know Marcel. He's gone now. And Marcel, we were able to, at that time I was partners with James Hetfield, and he had the money, and I sure had some ideas as well as James.
And
we started doing the full coach-built radical custom cars that were the whole body, the Aquarius, the Black Pearl, the Illusion.
Aftershock,
yeah. Those were mine. The Illusion, the Aftershock, and Shangri-La were mine. But things really got radical then. But in between Lavender Persuasion, I started doing a car every year. And then around 96, I did 2 cars for 2 clients that had come to me. and that's when it turned into a business. And it's been great ever since.
Is the business still viable today? You working on cars today?
Yeah, yeah. Right. Right now we're doing a car for a guy from Boca Raton,
Yep.
Florida. 57 Eldorado, a convertible with a Corvette motor in it. And it's pretty mild compared to my other cars. And we're starting another coach built car in a couple of weeks.
Well, I have to tell you that the one that draws my attention, me personally, is Voodoo.
The
Voodoo
Priest.
And that car, I know that it's the rear fenders on that car. Those are not stock fenders to that car, are they?
No, we used other Zephyr fenders.
Okay.
It is.
I can't remember what year, whether they were 38 or 39. Oh no, we used the stock fenders. We lengthened those fenders and lengthened the back and molded in, Frenched in, whatever you want to call it. Some people call it Frenched or molded. That Kaiser Overrider. Yeah, that was a beautiful car. That was James Hetfield's car as well. And all of those cars that I did with James, he donated them to the Peterson Museum. All of them, except for the ones he kept. He's got a couple of 32s and he's got an Oldsmobile, but he donated them. And right now they're at the LeMay Museum in Tacoma, Washington.
You know, you got to be proud as a car builder that these cars are stunningly beautiful and worthy of some very distinctive, wonderful collections. I mean, to be in the Peterson Museum, dude, I mean, that's more than a slap on the back.
Yeah, I was pretty proud. It was cool. And it was even cooler when they told me they weren't selling them off and just putting them on display afterwards, that they were going to tour them around the country, which so far they started. LeMay's going to have them for a year, another 8 or 9 months.
Rick, where are you located now?
Where am I what?
Located? Where's your business?
Right now, in northern Arizona. I've been traveling, so I'm outside of a hotel. As good as it gets for the background.
Well, thanks for joining us.
I apologize. It's not my shop.
No.
In Las Vegas where I live.
Rick, what's the duration of a build? Like you're building this.
Say one of your coach work builds.
Yeah.
One of the like the Black Pearl or the Aquarius, the Illusion Aftershock. One of them, we were really knocking them out fast. And when I say we, I mean Marcel and Luc Delahaye. Luke is his son. Luke does all the work now by himself. But incredible amount of time. You know, even with a blank checkbook, those are 5, 6, 7-year projects. You know, when like some of the Ralph Lauren cars are restored, the Bugattis, the early coach-built cars, they were 5, 7, 8-year projects. I think it was Paul Russell that did those. But regardless, ours took about 14 or 15 months.
Wow.
Which is incredibly fast.
I was going to say that's a pretty quick timeline on this kind of work.
So and
let's start now with a rolling chassis. Nothing else. No floors, no nothing.
And you've collaborated with the people who do the metal work. You have the design in your head and they do most of the metal work, or do you jump in with the metal work as well?
No, I am, that level of metal shaping, there's very few people that I know of that could do it that fast and do it that well. Marcel and Luke are very unique. But the grunt work I do. First, there's a rendering done. I go back and forth with Eric Brockmeyer 30 or 40 times till we get a line drawing that is, I'll tell him, well, stretch out that rear fender 3 or 4 inches, do a horizontal section through the center, like that. We go back and forth till we get something I like, the silhouette of. And then he pops it in his computer and you take that rendering, with most of those cars were 124-inch wheelbase. And you have a scale rendering of the car. You could take, when the project's over, you could take the fender off of the Black Pearl de Aquarius and hold it up to that rendering on the wall, and it will fit exactly.
Wow. And your style, and you don't have one style. You know, you have the early Fords, and then you do some of the later stuff. But your style has kind of moved around. I'm a huge fan of what I'll call the Delahaye influenced look of your vehicles. But I'm also a huge fan of your 1967 Oldsmobile Toronado. I worked for Oldsmobile for a few years, and that was a beautiful car, and the interior work on that car was pretty special as well. When you do these things for James Hetfield, does he have influence on what you're building, or does he just kind of say, go for it?
Nah, James is there every step of the way. Lots of phone calls, lots of text messages and pictures back and forth. I really never went forward without making sure James was happy with it. We were really friends before we started building cars. So we had a pretty good relationship.
Neat.
And to tell you the truth, in the beginning, I was kind of apprehensive about building cars with James because we had been friends for about a year by then. I was afraid mixing up the business with the friendship might mess it up. But, you know, we built cars for 15 years together. And James has just stepped away, you know, because he's got a big life. They're on tour now, and but he's still into cars. And I'm still building cars, whether it's 50s cars or coach-built cars. I'm up for anything, really. I just love cars.
And the Black Pearl started life as a Jaguar, if I remember correctly.
Well,
or influenced by a Jaguar.
Well, what happened was James bought a four-door Jag. I think it was a 48. And when we got into the metal, we realized that the metal post-war in England, post-World War II, was really flimsy, or at least on this car it was. It wasn't any rust, but it was just awful. So we blew the body off when we had the chassis. We modified the chassis, and that body, before a friend bought it, sat on two horses in the corner of the shop. And that's what Marcel had to look at for a window frame. And that's the only thing that looks like a Jag on that car, is around the windshield. And that's only because it was sitting over in the corner and we needed an idea. We did that car, we winged it. We wanted to do an Art Deco car that was a fastback that never went into production from the 30s.
It is stunning, absolutely stunning. You know, it's just a gorgeous car. You also have I'll say an eclectic color palette. I'm trying to say that without sounding odd, because you don't just live in one color palette of your cars. You have a pretty good range of the greens and the blues and the blacks and the grays, but you do a few orange cars as well. Where does that color come from? Is that a color that you decide on, or is that a collaboration of the color as well?
No, that's me. That's me, and I've toned it down because I've used so many of those colors. But I could give you an example. I was in Italy somewhere, Florence or Rome. I think it was Florence, and there was a street market, and there was a guy from Morocco, and he had his blanket out, and he had all these gems. You know, it was like a street fair, and this one gem caught my eye. It was blue, and I just looked at it, and I thought, man, that, and I bought it, and we got with PPG in their headquarters in Ontario, California, and copied it, and that was the color I used on a Cadillac.
On
Cashmere.
Story. On Cashmere.
Yeah, Cashmere.
Now, is that extended in the back? Have you lengthened that, or is that?
No.
The lines of that are. Yeah, the lines of that are just so long. it's gorgeous.
Yeah, that started off life as a 2-door coupe.
Is there a car out there today that you want to do but haven't done yet?
No. To be honest with you, I've done all of what I did through the 90s and the 2000s was I would take a car that appealed to me off the bat, a 36 Ford Roadster, a 49 Cad, a 52 Cad, whatever. And I'd stand back and look at it, what Detroit gave us. And I would stand back and just think about what would work for this car, what would enhance the existing lines on this car and not ruin them. Still keep them Cadillac or whatever model they were, but not ruin the lines, but accentuate them.
Yeah.
Enhance them. And I'd done all of the models that appealed to me. I'm not saying I did every car that Detroit turned out. I'm saying the models that appealed to me that I thought, wow, we could really do something with this car. It's already got a killer look. Let's do something with it.
What car?
I've done most of them.
What car or cars do you have in your own personal collection that you've done?
I got a 52 Cad. I have a 51 Merc. And I got another project I'm trying to finish up. But
you don't want to tell us what it is.
Yeah.
have you had to fade any heat from some of the purists? We have a friend of ours who actually collects the Mark IIs, and he's got a true Mark II, and then he has one that's been converted into a convertible. And I look at your car, the Remarkable, and I wonder, have any of those people come out and said, "Oh, how could you do that to such a car?" Because I think it's stunningly beautiful, and you have to balance that the customization to
originality.
The purists.
Yeah. That's funny you should say that about a Mark II, because even the Mark II guys don't know that they did 2 convertibles. There were 2 convertibles done. I have gotten a lot of heat, mostly because of Instagram and my Facebook fan page. I got a number of followers, and some guys get on, and it's like, well, it's like if it was a TV channel, I would just respond with, well, turn the dial.
Yeah, I'm one of your followers. I'm one of your followers. I really
not one of my followers, just somebody who's, they're out there, and everybody's a right to their own opinion. The cool thing about cars is it's really an extension of the person that's building it. Really, I mean, my love is really the Art Deco age, the 30s, and that shows it in the coach built cars.
Yeah,
and some of the later cars I did, the 36 Fords, I did what I could with it to make them look deco. But that's really where I'm at.
Have you been in front of a true Delahaye? Is that where some of this inspiration came from?
Oh yeah, many times. My inspiration for the Aquarius was the 165 Delahaye. Was it the 1937 or 38 Paris Auto Show? Yeah. And that was my inspiration. But what I wanted to do, I called the Black Pearl, the Aftershock, the Aquarius, really French styling with an American attitude.
Okay.
It's, for me, it's really all about styling, elegance, graceful lines, and it having an attitude. And when you add that hot rod flavor or custom car flavor, whatever you want, like the side pipes on the Aquarius, or the chop that was how we lowered the roof line of the Black Pearl, that all makes the cars look aggressive, and it gives them that edge, and it sets them apart from the pure French cars. But I call it French styling with an American attitude.
Are you still taking orders? People come to you and say, "Hey, Rick, would you do this car for me?"
Yeah.
Are you more selective now that you have the opportunity to be selective?
A A little bit. I've kept all of the bucks from the cars that we built, or I have most of them, which is a big part of the work. Would I duplicate the Black Pearl or the Aquarius or some of them really? Well, they were all unique cars. I don't know. I'd have to think about it. But I could use those bucks and change the lines, change the bucks around.
Sure.
And when I say bucks, I mean the skeleton of a car.
Yes.
Right.
First, you get the rolling chassis, you build the floor, the rockers, you locate the firewall, the angle of the grill, and then you start building the car. And, you could change the skeleton around. I'm doing that with the car right now.
So when you were in middle school, let's go back a few years. Were you the kid that was sitting there drawing cars? Or was that
No. No.
I was, but my cars looked like little square boxes.
Yeah. I was the kid who was cutting out Ed Big Daddy Roth and the Bonneville, I call them wax packs. Wax packs. They were like the baseball cards.
Yeah.
And I was taping them to my bedroom wall.
How cool is that? Yeah, we've, we're real happy to have you come on the show. We really appreciate your time coming on. We've had Gene Winfield's been on the show a number of times, and we feel that you are at his level as well.
Absolutely.
As far as what you do, and the range of cars you've done, from the coach work to what I'll call kind of the lead sled stuff, as well as to some of the traditional hot rod stuff. When you look at Screaming Cat and Golden Era, you've really got a great range and a wonderful eye.
Rick, are you going to be finishing up this secret car that you've got in production right now?
Yeah.
When is that going to be any time in the next few months?
Excuse me?
Is it going to be any time in the next few months?
It should be at SEMA.
Okay.
Oh,
Right, that's October. All right. Rick, I can't tell you how much we appreciate you taking the time talking to us today.
And we know that your show at the LeMay Museum is Reclaimed Rust, and that's part of the James Hetfield collection in Tacoma, Washington. And we invite everybody to go on up there and take a peek at it.
Yeah, I have an Instagram page, the Rick Dore, and a Facebook fan page. I post a lot of the cars, sometimes progress pictures, but yeah.
And we've been showing some of your vehicles as we've been having this discussion as well. So, good stuff.
Okay.
Thank you for your time. Very much so.
Okay. Take care, guys. Thanks for having me.
You do the same. Rick Dore, Lords of the Hordes.
That is cool.
How cool is his design work?
Yeah.
And to think that he sits back and looks at it and wants to extend the look of what it currently looks at.
I wish he had his own car show. And kind of like Ken Diggett Designs.
Yeah, rides,
to watch him build.
Yeah, watch him build the cars and his input as it goes along with the build.
Yeah,
cool.
I meant to ask him, has he got a powertrain of choice, but didn't really matter because it's the style that he builds. It's
all right.
Stunning.
All right, got a couple of news headlines here I want to get in before we close out the show today. The German supplier Leone has resumed production of wire harnesses in western Ukraine, and volume, believe it or not, has returned nearly to pre-war levels in Ukraine.
Wow.
Leone, a key provider of automotive wiring, was forced to shut 2 factories in Ukraine for about a week after Russia invaded the country. Leone swiftly overhauled how it operates in Ukraine, from shifts to shelters to shipping goods across the border to restart production under dangerous and unpredictable conditions. So there's that. After years of dealer desire, Volkswagen on Wednesday confirmed that it will launch a U.S.-based Scout sub-brand for an all-new rugged electric pickup and SUV that'll be on a new platform and unlike anything else in the German automaker's massive global portfolio. VW Group will build a separate, independent company to resurrect the Scout name, which it acquired last year as part of its
an international Scout.
as a heavy truck subsidiary's purchase of Navistar. The German automaker said It plans to show its first prototypes next year and start production in 2026. The Scout.
That's going to be cool.
The big unknown question in the announcement is who exactly will retail the Scout branded vehicles in the U.S. and how. VW is targeting sales of up to 250,000 Scout branded models annually in the U.S., the Journal reported, with output slated to begin in 2026. And that is all.
That is all.
That is all. The Scout. The International Scout. And, you back in the day, you used to see a lot of them.
Yep.
They were around.
And they were
International Harvester.
First generation Bronco-sized vehicles.
Yep.
And I wonder if they are going to bring that look back to it.
They will.
Yeah, especially with the success Ford's seeing with the Bronco right now.
Yeah.
I don't know why they wouldn't. But cool. I didn't realize that they had bought the Navistar name and that Scout came along with it. So when I read that story the first time, I was like, that's going to be pretty awesome.
I know that we missed This Week in Auto History.
We're good.
But we'll save it for next week. Sorry, we ran a little bit long with Rick.
Yeah, that was well worth the time.
And if you're unhappy with that, send your cards and letters to David Ainsley
at inwheeltime.com.
Right. Yeah, do that. Okay, we're going to wrap up today's show after a quick break. Stay with us.
Father's Day weekend, Saturday, June 18th, 2022. It's the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In, and you're invited. Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition will be at the same Loopy Tortilla in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. on Saturday, June 18th. It's the only place cruisers compete for trophies and other prizes. Enter your vehicle for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, and Best Modern Classic. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's coolest cruise-in and is your opportunity to see the best hot rods, show cars, classics, and resto mods, and get Loopy Tortilla breakfast tacos and adult beverages. There's no entry fee, and cars will automatically compete for custom Loopy trophies and other prizes. It all happens at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. Kick off summer with Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition, Saturday, June 18th. The In Real Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Celebrate Father's Day, the start of summer, and the return of Tailpipes and Tacos. Saturday morning, June 18th, 8 to 11. We'll see you then, weather permitting. Want to take a minute to tell you about Gulf Coast Auto Shield, a Houston detail company like no other. Gulf Coast Auto Shield offers paint correction services that'll give your car, truck, or SUV a like-new shine. Afterwards, you'll want to protect it with a professionally installed nano-ceramic coating or protection film. Worried about your very expensive windshield getting damaged, broken, or cracked? Let Gulf Coast Auto Shield install ExoShield, a windshield protection film. Give John Gray a call today or check out their website, gcautoshield.com. Hey, whether you own a new, ultra-expensive, exotic, or a 5-year-old Suburban, Gulf Coast Auto Shield will help keep your investment looking like the day it rolled off the assembly line. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is conveniently located on the South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of I-69, the Southwest Freeway. Meet the staff and check out all of their services online right now at gcautoshield.com. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 Car Talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeart Radio app and ask for In Wheel Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best Car Talk Show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via InWheelTime.com and your favorite podcast channel, and all of this is free to you. From the iHeart Radio app, you'll not only hear our Saturday morning live show, but the best shows of the past, updated weekly. Never miss a minute of up-to-date new car reviews, pre-owned reviews, Conrad's Car Clinic, informative interviews, automotive news, and the most fun car talk show on the planet. Just download the iHeart Radio app, search for In Wheel Time Car Talk, save it to your library, and with a tap of the icon, you'll be in touch with your favorite Car Talk team. In Wheel Time Car Talk, streaming now on iHeart.com/In Wheel Time Car Talk.
Well, that's a wrap for this week's In Wheel Time Car Talk Show here on iHeartRadio. When you're on our Facebook page, please give us a like, tell your friends about us, and share our junk if you would, please, if you can. You'll get Conrad's unicorn hunting features and all things automotive all week long, including upcoming events, cruise-ins, racing, and other goodies. You can find In Wheel Time Car Talk 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app. In Wheel Time can also be heard live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and on InWheelTime.com every Saturday, 8 to 11 Central. 30-minute podcasts available from your favorite podcast provider 7 days a week. The N-Wheel Time Chief Engineer is David Ainsley. Our Marketing Advertising Manager and Video Technical Director is We Need More Jeff Zekin. The booking agent and podcast editor, Mike Out of This World Mars, is royalty King Conrad DeLong. I'm Don Armstrong. Today's In-Wheel Time was guided by Travis Herzog, the ABC 13 weatherman, who we understand is cooling in the pool today.
Oh, man.
Be sure to join us again for our next live In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show next Saturday, May 21st, starting at 8 a.m. Central Time on all of these In-Wheel Time Car Talk outlets. Right here on the Smoke and Mirrors Network. So long for now, everybody.
That's it for this podcast episode of the In-Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.